It's the battle you've all been waiting for. CR Sim Racing versus Broca Sim Racing. Finally going head to head and getting involved in a right old scrap. Now, Ben Harrison and I have collaborated closely on all things sim racing for 2 years now, but in that time, we've never had the chance to have a proper tussle together on track until now. It's the Mazda MX-5 Cup at Hockenheim in RaceRoom. We've entered this race late, so we're both starting at the back of the grid. I'm 12th, Ben's 13th. We're both broadcasting this race too, so you'll be able to enjoy this tremendous battle from 2 different perspectives. If you want to check out the action from Ben's point of view, then head over to Broca Sim Racing. I'll leave a link to his video in the description below. Right, enough talk. Let's fight. 15 minutes at Hockenheim is about to get underway. And it's green, the battle is on. We've got a decent enough launch there, but straight away one of the drivers in front pulling over to the side. That's Tom Ryan, one of the higher rated drivers on this grid. Now I can't get over to the racing line. I've got Martin Hughes and Ben Harrison to the outside. We've lost 2 drivers to the left. Now where's Harrison? Oh, there he is. There's contact already down the straight. It's not taken long at all. But Harrison carrying a lot more speed, and he's going around the outside of Peter Brawson. Meanwhile, on the inside, Rene Rast has got past the pair of them. So a frantic first half a lap to this Mazda MX-5 Cup race, but we didn't expect anything less. So far, Harrison's gained 3 places. He's jumped from 13th to 10th. We've only picked up 1 position, climbing from 12th to 11th. But yeah, that inside line into T1 really didn't do me any favours. I wasn't able to carry the speed that I would have liked through it. Speaking of speed, Ben Harrison's got more here, and he's making a move up the inside of Peter Brawson. We close in on the pair of them. However, I've got no choice but to go wide. I couldn't turn in and make the apex because I've got Tom Riot on the inside of me. Now, I don't fancy my chances on the outside going too wide into this right-hander, so I just ease off and let Riot through. That puts us back into 12th position where we first started this race. And if you remember, when the lights went green, it was Tom Riot who pulled over and let all the cars go by. Now he's clearly got pace, and he's got a high rating too, so I presume he just wanted the challenge of trying to start from the back of the grid. Speaking of challenges, can we make one around the outside into the Mobile 1 curve? No, we can't. There's not quite room. There's a car out onto the gravel in front. That's another position gain for Harrison. Oh, there's big contact in front of me between Riot and Peter Brawson. Brawson's gone. Riot pushing so hard to try and make his way through this pack, ran right into the back of Brawson there. Now can we challenge up the inside of Riot into the penultimate turn? No, Riot slams the door shut. So we're back up to 11th position following Brawson's demise. However, there are now 2 cars between me and Ben. Thomas Gutman in 9th, Tom Riot in 10th, Harrison's now up to 8th. There's a yellow flag out at T1. Have we lost someone else? Yes, we have. Michael Remus. Remus was running in 4th position, but he is out in a cloud of smoke, and we're up into the top 10. Right, let's grab a breather and check out some highlights from what went down on that opening lap. There's Tom Riot to the left, pulling to one side, letting the entire field go past him. Meanwhile, further in front, there's a crash into T1. Watch the 2 cars coming together, spinning out, and thankfully not taking anyone else with them. Now, if we switch to the chopper cam, keep an eye on the yellow car. That's me on the inside line, and we can see just how much exit speed it cost me. Ben Harrison's alongside me now. There's a little bit of contact as Harrison makes a move down the outside. Now, I had no choice but to just hang back there and let those guys hit T2 3 wide, but thankfully I started picking up the positions back before the end of the lap. We're entering the stadium section for the first time. Tom Riot in front of me. Now watch how close he gets to Peter Brawson ahead of him. Brawson was really unlucky. He did nothing wrong. He had to get on the brakes because Harrison and Gutman were too wide. Well, that spin put me back up to 11th position, and then at the start of lap 2 we gained another place when Michael Remus challenging here for 3rd. Thinks better of it into T1, but just clips the rear of the car in front of him, and that causes him to lose the front. And we're going to close right back in on Riot and Gutman through T2. It looks like Martin Hughes has run wide though. Hughes was in 6th position. Can he get back on in front of Harrison? No, he can. Ben gains another position. He's up to 6th. Hughes down to 7th. Riot now making a move on Gutman. Riot's up to 8th. Gutman 9th. We're in 10th. But we're in real danger of losing touch with Ben here. He's only 1 second ahead on track, but crucially, there are now 3 drivers in between us. It's going to be really hard work to try try and get that back. Look at Thomas Goodman making a move up the inside. He's surely not going to get that stopped. Tom Ryan anticipated it. I take a tight line. We've lost Rene Rast to the right as well. So we've gained 2 positions in one corner. We're up to 8th. So here's a replay of Rene Rast's spin just coming into the hairpin. Now in the background you can see Thomas Goodman making that dive up the inside. That didn't pay off for him, but Rast on exit just gets onto that sausage curb on the outside, which causes him to lose control. Well, what can we do from 8th position? Never mind trying to keep up with Ben Harrison. We're struggling to keep up with any of them at the moment. Harrison kicking up some dust on the exit of the final turn. And he's in 5th position now, 1.5 seconds ahead of me. In between us, we've got Tom Riot in 6th and Martin Hughes in 7th. Meanwhile, behind, Thomas Goodman's in 9th, but he's more than 2 seconds back. Hughes trying to get any extra speed that he can find with a toe from Tom Riot. They're both on the inside. Hughes moves back to the racing line. There's contact between the two of them. That's going to give me the opportunity to close in on them both. And Ben will be watching this battle in his rearview mirror and rubbing his hands with glee, because while Riot and Hughes are taking chunks out of each other, Harrison can clear off here. But with a bit of extra space, we're starting to find a bit of rhythm ourselves. We've just put a purple first sector in. That's really encouraging. And we're just about close enough to pounce if Hughes tries to make a move up the inside into the hairpin. Or no, he won't, because he's outbroke himself. He almost ran into the rear of Tom Riot there. He had to take avoiding action and run it out wide. Yeah, Hughes possibly caught out by the extra speed he picked up from the toe, and by the time he got on the brakes, he had to take evasive action there to avoid collecting Tom Riot. But yeah, really good work there from Hughes to avoid that collision with Riot. It's given us 7th position. Hughes running wide again in the rearview mirror, so we've lost Hughes now. He's a couple of seconds back. We can concentrate on catching these two in front. One of them is Harrison, the other is Tom Riot, and it's Riot making a move up the inside into the Mobil 1 curve. He's made it stick. Now can Ben fight right back? It doesn't look like it, because Riot's going to take a defensive line into this left-hander. There's nowhere for Ben to go, and this is helping me reel the pair of them in. We're within 0.6 of a second of Harrison now as we come through the stadium section. Well, just a lap and a bit ago I was worried about losing touch with Ben, but now we've got him right in our sights. That red and white Mazda is within half a second now. But yeah, it was a really good move from Tom Riot. He carried a lot more speed exiting Mercedes. That allowed him to make a move up the inside. By the time we get to the Mobil 1 curve, Riot's already made that pass stick. Well, we're halfway through the race now, and I'm still 0.6 of a second behind Ben Harrison. We're lapping almost identical times here, which is making it really tough to close in those final few tenths. However, Harrison misses the apex into this left-hander. That's the opportunity I wanted to close right in. Now we're as close as we've ever been. We're not quite close enough to have a sniff up the inside into the penultimate turn or the final turn, but we might pick up a toe down the start and finish straight. We're actually holding the fastest lap of the race at the moment, but we're going to lose that as we cross the line. Tom Riot is the new fastest lap holder, so Riot is on a charge here. And in fact, Riot has made a move up the inside of Rudy Opperman to take 4th position. Harrison also gets past Opperman. Can we do the same? Yes, we can. He's down on pace, Opperman. I wonder if he's serving a slowdown penalty. We're on the inside into T2. This isn't the entry line I'd like, but needs must. We've taken the position. We're up to 6th. Harrison 5th. Tom Riot is now in 4th. And yeah, I'm not sure whether Opperman was serving a slowdown penalty or whether he just lost all his momentum by leaving that space for Riot on the inside. He gets out onto the curb. He's down on pace through turn 1, and we all charge by. First Ben Harrison, then me. We all gain a position down that back straight. Back to the live action with a little under 4 minutes of this race remaining. Now I'm a bit further behind now. That's because I had to serve a hefty slowdown penalty after an over-enthusiastic T1 on the previous lap. However, we're closing right back in on this bunch now. Tom Riot made a move up the inside of Volker Schlieser into Mercedes. That puts Riot into 3rd, Schlieser 4th, Harrison right on his tail in 5th. But we've got a fantastic drive. Can we do what Tom Riot did and stick it up the inside of Harrison into the Mobil 1 curve? It's going to be tight, there's contact. I'm trying to leave Ben as much room as I can so that I don't run him off into the gravel trap. We've just about done it. Harrison's got the inside for this left-hander, so there's no way through for me. But now we are in a proper scrap, and there's still 3 minutes of this race to go. We're going to get at least 2 more laps in. Meanwhile, behind, Rudy Opperman can't keep up with any of us. He's 1.5 seconds back now, so we're clearing off from Opperman. And this is all about a battle for the top 5. Currently, Ben holds that 5th position. I'm going to do everything I can to try and snatch it off him. Meanwhile, further ahead, it looks like Tom Riot might be making a break in 3rd. He's a 2nd clear. Oh no, we've run a bit too wide on the exit of T1, and for the 2nd lap in a row, we've got a slow down penalty, 0.4 of a second. We've got to give back. Harrison making a move up the inside of Schlieser into turn 2. There's contact as Schlieser tries to close the door. They're still too wide on exit. Schlieser's got the inside. Well, I can't imagine that Ben would have been too happy about getting squeezed out on the inside of turn 2, but for me, it worked into my favour. I was able to ease off, let these 2 guys fight and serve my slowdown penalty all in one go without losing any distance whatsoever. Harrison's going to pull out of that slipstream now. I need to leave him some space on the outside so he can do it safely. I'm going to take a wider entry and try and cut it up the inside. There's no room, and once again I give Harrison a tap, and actually that contact's going to cost me some exit speed. I'm going to lose a 10th or 2 here. Well, let's go back to the end of the previous lap where this battle caught fire. I thought I had enough pace to make a move up the inside into the stadium section. There's that contact. I tried my best not to squeeze Ben out onto the gravel. He's on the curb. And of course he's going to have the inside line for this left-hander, which meant there was no way through for me, but the pressure is building. Well, this is it now, the business end of the race. We're going to have one more lap to go after this one. Tom Riot's cleared off in 3rd. We can just see him in the distance, but the battle for 4th is well and truly on. Volker Schlieser holds that position at the moment. Harrison's just half a second behind him, and I'm just 0.4 of a second behind Harrison. I think this final lap is going to get pretty lively. Who is going to come out on top here? We've got 1 lap of Hockenheim to go. Now, the first thing I need to do is get through T1 without picking up another slowdown penalty. That'll be the last thing we need at this stage of the race. So we're chasing Ben into T1. I'm careful to try not to run out over this curb on the left. We've managed it. However, our exit wasn't the fastest. We've lost a 10th or 2 to Harrison. Is Harrison going to move up the inside? No, he's not, because Schlieser's defended. Harrison goes wide. Can he run it around the outside? No, he can't. And once again, I'll take the opportunity to reel these 2 guys back in. What's the gap now? 0.4 of a second, 0.3 of a second to Harrison in front. Harrison's going to pick up a toe from Schlieser. I'm going to pick up a toe from the pair of them. Now, who is going to go where? Harrison at the moment looking for a move up the inside. Is Schlieser going to stay on the racing line? I'm going to go out as wide as I can. I need to give these 2 space. They're both going for the defensive line. Can I run around the outside of the pair of them into the hairpin? No, I can't, but there's contact between Harrison and Schlieser again. I'm going to get a much better run out of the hairpin. Can I pull alongside Harrison? Yes, I can. Is there room for me to get around the outside of Schlieser? There might be, but we're going to go 3 wide into this fast right-hander. Oh, but I was always going to come off second best on that line. There was no way that I could stay on track and still carry top speed, so we're going to have to tuck back in behind, but now we can challenge Harrison around the outside, can't we? We're going to put him under as much pressure as we can. Are we close enough to try another move up the inside into the Mobile 1 curve? I don't think we are, so I'm going to have to concentrate on getting as fast a line as possible and maybe launch a challenge up the inside into this left-hander. We've got the pace, but Harrison switches. He's going to defend. Crafty work from Ben there. He's blocked the line off. There's no way for me to get through, so it's all going to come down to the final couple of turns. We've still got more pace. We're alongside again. We're on the outside, so I'm going to have to take a later entry into this penultimate turn to give me a chance to tuck it up the inside into the final corner. We don't get that chance, and I think it's done. Ben is going to hold on for 5th position. We're going to have to settle for 6th. Well, what an enthralling battle. This was the moment we were 3 wide going into the hairpin. I stayed out as wide as possible. There's the contact between Harrison and Schlieser. I get a much better drive because of it, but there's only one way for me to go, and that's out to the left. I was always going to be fighting against the odds here, but we're 3 wide into this fast right-hander. Once again, I hang it out wide to give the 2 guys some room, but ultimately I wasn't able to hold on. Into the stadium section, I carried a lot more speed out of the Mobile 1 curve, but Ben wisely went for the defensive line. That closed off the gap, didn't allow me a way through. I was still challenging though. At this point I pulled alongside on the the outside in the hope that I might be able to get a tighter line into the penultimate turn. My goal here was to tuck it up the inside into the final corner, but I just ran out of space. And from there, it was a drag race to the line. I was never going to be carrying the speed to get past, so Ben took 5th. I had to sell for 6th. Right, let's check out the classified results to see just how close we were, and we crossed the line just 0.2 of a second apart. And look at those fastest lap times too, just 0.02 of a second separating us there. It really couldn't have been any closer. And even though I came off second best on this occasion, it was an absolute pleasure to share the track with Ben. There really is nothing better than sim racing with your mates, and so it proved here at Hockenheim. So you've seen the race from my vantage point. If you haven't done already, why not see what it looked like from Ben's point of view? You can watch the very same race over at Broca Sim Racing here. There's a link to the video in the description below too, and as always, please do let us both know what you thought of the race. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks ever so much for watching, and we'll see you on the grid again very, very soon. Cheers.